All right, guys, welcome to episode 163 of the DriveRepeat show presented by Summit Racing. For the first time ever, we have the team from Olympic Street Car Shootout on the show tonight. I'm really excited about this. They just finished their event a few weeks ago here. It looked like an incredible event. I'm just telling you. Pacific Northwest, we got to go, bro. We got to go. I'm telling you.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear all about this thing. And then we're also going to dive into some of the Street Machine Eliminatorclass racers that are coming to Hot Rod Drag Week. So I'm kind of excited about tonight. There's a lot of other stuff that's happening within the drag and drive community. We're going to go over a bunch of that as well. Mr. Eric, hit the intro, sir.
All right, let's go.
All right, guys, like I said, welcome to episode 163 of the DriveRepeat show presented by Summit Racing. My name is Mike Narks. I'm the host of this show and the news that happens on Saturday, which is a 1-hour blast through the drag and drive community, news and entertainment from the drag and drive community, I guess probably what best way to say it. And my co-host over here, Mr. Eric, introduce yourself.
I am Eric White, co-host of the show and the news, and your typical photographer. I finally got some photos out from Havlic's fastest street car shootout, and that first drop was great. There are some amazing shots in there.
Some bangers in there for sure. I'm excited. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight too. And dude, you know the best thing about taking photos at an event?
Race car friends.
Bro, like, how do we live without these guys, man? I'm telling you, guys and girls, we appreciate all you guys and all that you do. This week has been pretty wild. Lots of messages back and forth between me and a bunch of people talking about anything from they don't think they're going to make drag week to, hey, how do I get a ticket to the short circuit? I mean, like all kinds of really fun, crazy stuff going on. So guys, just want to say thank you so much for being our race car friends, and thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate you doing that and watching our show. And of course, our sponsors. We cannot do what we do without these guys. So if you're doing some shopping, we just ask, give these folks a chance. You know, I would say probably 110% of the folks that we talk to here on the show have probably heard of Summit Racing. You know, they've heard of it more than just us talking about it. We appreciate Summit and what they do for us, but also for the entire automotive community. And of course, Deechworks, the official field delivery of DriveRepeat, but also title sponsor of the short circuit. So I'm really pumped about what they've got going on. Molly Motorsport, of course, top pistons in the game. You know, those guys are awesome. Going to be able to hang out with George Wright while we're at Drag Week, which is going to be exciting. And of course, Driven Racing Oil, Michael Neal on a 3-week tour right now of all kinds of racing, not just drag racing, all kinds of stuff. So these guys do anything and everything. I think he's headed to another race this weekend, has literally been on the road for 2 weekends prior, going to all kinds of races and stuff. And of course, Howard's Cams, our boy Luke B, and the team over there taking care of all of our valve train stuff and taking care of anybody else's valve train stuff that's out there, like Rick Stanky. J-Wire Solutions, of course, Jay Blanchard, the man, the myth, the legend of that, you know, the tuning, the magic fingers there of Brian Acton's Fast Act Racing Nova, AFCO Racing Products. I'm wearing my shirt tonight in honor of wrenching on the old truck here in a few minutes, because that's what I'm going to be doing. And my plan is to mount up some rear-mounted shocks shock mounts tonight. So, you know, going to be hitting up our boys over there at AFCO, see what they got going on. Performer Built Transmissions, best GM transmission builder on the planet. Car Change 3D, of course, Corey, the team over there, just total badasses. And Low Dollar Motorsports. You need your sensors handled. You need stuff. You need to know what your car's doing. Low Dollar Motorsports is the place to do that. And of course, PowerTube TV and Racing Junk Classifieds. All right, sir, enough of my talking. Let's let Mr. Brian Loans tell us a little bit about Summit Racing.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
And I can't wait to hang out with these guys. I'm sure we're going to see them at Drag Week as well. It's going to be a really fun time. And I'm pretty sure they're on 6 Summer right now. So,
6 Michigan miles.
Sorry, Michigan miles. Yeah. Golly. What day is it? Speaking of Summit, let's talk about Summit Motorsports Park. Pretty incredible. And Summit Racing, of course, involved with them. But guys, we've had Bill Bader on before. That dude exudes passion for the drag racing community and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to give a special shout out to Summit Racing for stepping up for the IHRA Sportsman Racers. They were supposed to have this big World Championship deal, World Finals. And these guys, obviously all the IHRA struggles, that's probably not going to happen for them under IHRA. So Bill Bader put together a group of 5 sponsors that said, hey, if IHRA does not do that, well, here's what he said. He announced that Summit Racing Equipment, Blueprint Engines, PJH, Trackbite, Fuel Factory, and a 5th partner to be named have committed to fully underwrite a $150,000 purse for Sportsman World Finals at Summit Motorsports Park on October 22nd through 24th. Should the IHRA prove unable to stage one, okay? So he said if the IHRA runs its own event, Bill Bader's event simply goes away. So this is awesome because Rodney Reeves writes an article called The Backbone of Drag and Drive, right? And it's these sportsman style racers, these guys that go out and do this. But sportsmen in drag racing is completely different. I mean, these guys are points chasing. They're going to 10, 12 events a year. They're doing all this stuff. They literally build out their entire season based on this sportsman championship stuff. And this World Finals is a huge deal for them. So big shout out to Summit for stepping up, man. This is a big deal. Like, think of, you're halfway through the season. Your budget is completely blown, like your marketing budget, their budget out the window. And then they step in here and provide a portion of this $150,000 if need be. Now I think that's the key phrase there. Obviously, if IHRA comes around and figures out what they're going to do with sportsman stuff, that won't happen. But I wanted to give a pat on the back to Summit for even throwing their name in the hat for that. Sportsman racers are, again, they're the backbone. They're the ones doing it. So big shout. Hey, there's Rodney Reeves right there. Most recent article, Jesse Mataferri, man, so cool. So cool. So again, just big shout out to Summit and all they do for us here in Drag and Drive, everybody else in drag racing, circle track, off-road, everything they do. They're not just sponsors, they're also enthusiasts and racers and all that kind of stuff. So big shout out to them. So if you're a sportsman racer out there, make sure you thank Summit. And of course, dude, Drag Drive Repeat's recommended products over on summitracing.com. Just type in Drag Drive Repeat when you're on there. That will take you into there. And then any link on our Facebook or website will take you right to, it is an affiliate link, so it would run through and tell us, hey, if this product qualifies, you get a little certain percentage. So appreciate everybody doing all of that fun stuff. And of course, when you're on Summit, you just type in Drag Drive Repeat and pick up shirts, hats, hoodies, and all that kind of cool stuff. Yeah, Keith Haney in here, man. What's up? Dude, this guy's putting on, I'll just talk about this for a second because it is a little bit in Drag Drive Repeat's wheelhouse. We are going to have some Drag and Drive racers show up there. Flying H for the double SmackDown. This is going to be a big deal. This is a Thursday, Friday full pro mod race. This is a 100% race Thursday, Friday, and another 100% race Saturday, Sunday. Going to be pretty wild. Jet cars both Friday and Saturday night. All kinds of cool stuff. But Saturday, they've got 530 index, 650 index for kind of a street guys, right? And then they're doing jet cars both Friday and Saturday night. They're a huge car show on Saturday with the help of Boost and Barbecue. Justin Keith is going to be helping with all that. So I'm really excited about that. I've actually changed my plans around. I haven't told Keith this yet, but I am going to go ahead and come up on Friday and Saturday. Sunday is day one racing at Mocan, so it's perfect. So I'll go to Flying H, spend the weekend there, and then on Sunday morning early, I'll head back towards Mocan so I can catch day one of 666. So kind of exciting. Turned my weekend into Just spending some time at MoCan to now spending time with my Pro Mod friends, and then also up at Flying H. So it's exciting. You guys are going to begin to see more about that. That is the end of September. That's the 26th or 24th through 27th at Flying H. So you guys are beginning to see some of that over here on Drag Drive Repeat. But if you're not following Midwest Drag Race Series, make sure you get over there and follow them as well. Okay, so some Drag Drive Repeat updates. A lot of stuff going on here. Dude, we are 145 subscribers away from 13,000 on YouTube. That's kind of cool. That's,
bring it on.
Blows my mind. We're 31,000 on Facebook, 68,000 on Instagram. Like it's just this like chug a chug, man. We just keep chugging along. So I'm excited about that. Part of that is because you're awesome and an amazing co-host, but you're leaving me this weekend. So you're going to leave me to my own devices this Saturday. So guys, I am looking for a guest co-host on Saturday morning. I'll be making a post on it later tonight. Just, I don't know. We've had a lot of guest co-hosts come in. Obviously, nobody can fill your shoes fully. You're just a hell of a dude. But you're doing fun stuff with your family, and, got to get you some time away from this thing sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. We're in a weekend in Chicago. So wife and I are going to take off for the weekend and have a little weekend between Havlicks and Hot Rod Drag Week. So, you got to get that time in when you can.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And of course, next weekend is coming up on the World of Drag Racing or whatever there at Byron. That's right down the street from you. So, hey, honey, I went to Chicago with you. Can I go over here to this? Other news, we took some advice from folks last week. They had said, hey, why don't you turn the completed events, turn them a different color on the thing, because we were talking about the events list. So I went ahead and did that over the last couple of days. And dude, it looks kind of cool. I'll just say it kind of gives it a look, You better start figuring shit out if you're going to an event, is basically what this tells me, because that still looks like a lot of events on there. But
it does.
Truly not. It's truly not. If you're thinking like, oh man, I'm going to go to an event in Colorado, you've got one. You got one more event for that, so I'm kind of excited about this. This will be a good thing. And as we see people using that on dragdriverepeat.com/events, this here just shows up all the time. So I think it'll be good. And as events end, it'll be much easier to go in and do that one at a time than it will be for all the stuff. So I just want to let everybody know I had that updated. That's why it will be different. And then, of course, Havlicks photos. Tell us about these things, man.
Yeah, so I started with day 0, which was just our Thursday. That was our photo shoot day. So I did all the photos up until the explosion so far. So I'll get the explosion photos, and then I'll get the cars leaving the track will be our next upload. But yeah, there was some killer shots in here. I was really happy with the way these turned out.
Yeah, those ones of Alan Smith, bro.
Dude, his post was cracking me up today.
Yeah, the caption this. Oh man, It was pretty funny. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of great photos in this, man. It's incredible. You did a great job.
We've got a bunch more to go. I'm gonna slowly work away at them. This is that time of year where I seem to fall behind every year. So,
dude, I don't know how you keep up, man.
We'll get through Havlicks. We'll jump back to Six Summer, and then we'll be right in the middle of Drag Week. So I'll probably be editing photos until PRI once again.
That's the way it goes, dude. That's the way it goes. We appreciate your hard work for sure. And hopefully that work doesn't get in the way of this right here.
Well, and that's the struggle, right? I've got photos to edit. I've got flyers to make, and I have an engine to build. So this weekend, I talked about it on Saturday. I had a second set of heads. So the heads that were on here originally were complete, nothing wrong with them. But with the Howard's cam came the springs, so needed to put those on. So I ended up getting the heads that I had, and I went and picked up just a stock set of 317 valves from a guy. Super cool guy. Talked about him on Saturday, but dropped those in. We've got the springs in, which you can see on the photo on the left. And we were waiting on some either head studs or hardware to bolt the heads down, but I couldn't resist starting to throw the rest of it together just to see what it looked like. So got the Holley high ram out of the box that I ordered from Summit Racing, got that set up there, got the new exhaust manifolds mounted on, and that's exciting. It looks really good. I don't know if it's going to clear the hood.
Who cares?
Hadn't really got that far away, but we'll make it work.
If it doesn't, let's cut a big old hole in it. I don't care. Dude, that thing looks badass. There's just something about a high ram on that setup, man.
Yeah, super cool. And then so I made the post asking about cheap head studs or factory hardware, and got a lot of comments on that. But what was really cool is Mark Campbell from Deechworks hooked me up with Matt over at P1, and we talked through the setup of the car, what the engine combo was, and then he recommended this set of head studs, which just came in today, just a few hours ago.
Nice.
It's super nice stuff here. So these are not cheap head studs, and they're not factory bolts. This is a extremely nice kit here. So super excited to get this all unpackaged and put on the engine. Then we're going to be able to torque the heads down. We can put the push rods in, and we can really start going from a mock-up to final assembly on that engine and start to get it ready to go back into the car.
Dude, that's exciting. And once you get to that point, like the car ran and drove. So then it's just a matter of putting things back together. I know that there will be some stuff that will be like, oh, hey, this is going to need to change, and you're going to, that'll delay it a little bit. But man, like this car's getting closer by the week.
Yeah. And if people that remember, the whole reason the engine got tore apart was because I needed a bigger radiator, and got a bigger radiator. The exhaust manifolds didn't fit, so I had to redo the exhaust hot side for the turbo, and then that turned into, we should probably put a cam in it, and then the engine was completely disassembled, getting cleaned at a machine shop. So here we are, we're back to it. So we'll still have to build the hot side for the turbos once we get it back in there. But just want to say a huge thank you to P1 for helping me out with these head studs. And this is, like I said, I think really one of the last, if not the last piece I need to get the engine assembled and put back into the car.
Dude, that's awesome. Bring it on. And as John Doherty here says, hole in the hood for sure. And Josh Ridge says, hoods are overrated.
Yeah, well, I have a 6-inch cowl hood, so if that ain't big enough, probably don't need a hood.
There you go. That's exactly right. Well, I am also planning to work on the old truck. That's why I'm wearing this AFCO Racing shirt, because in honor of our thrash at Havlicks, I'm going to be out here working tonight after the show and planning to reinstall the rear end so I can get the drive shaft length measured correctly, try and get all this stuff put back to where it's supposed to be, so then we can get everything rolling from there. I got my shock mounts in from Summit Racing, so going to try and get those welded on tonight as well. So going to be a late night. I got some caffeine in the cup there, and just going to try and get as much done. And as I joke with my brother all the time, I'm going to work till my eyes bleed. So that's kind of the goal, is to just hammer through as much as I possibly can tonight. So excited, man. A lot of exciting things.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is really, we had both of our vehicles at Havlicks.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got progress on both of our vehicles. I think people have been waiting for us to have updates on our own vehicles. So this is
people have been waiting on us to do cool shit.
Right.
Not just take photos and videos of them doing cool stuff. Now we get to do our own cool stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So didn't get to do any burnouts at Havlicks, which pissed me off. So we'll definitely be doing trailer burnouts at Hot Rod Drag Week.
Okay. I'm in.
So get ready. It may be a one-wheeler, but we're going to do it. So we'll see. I don't know. Uh-oh. No. Okay. Backstory here. Josh Rich did tell me he would come get me that Friday. And you and I talked about this, I think, Eric. I think he was probably using it as an excuse to come to Havlicks. Yeah, he's like, oh, man, I'll come pick you up. And I got a truck and trailer ready to go if you need me. And then we end up, doing what we did. So,
yeah, doing some roadkill junk.
Yeah, man, brutal. So exciting. Yeah, and then Jan Haas here saying, get Stanley rolling again. LSD of some sort this time, or still spiders. It will just be open diff at this point. I had debated on welding the diff up in this new 10 bolt, but apparently these 99 to 06 body style rear axles don't like that kind of stuff. So gonna probably wait on that. There are a few at the junkyard in that range that would maybe bolt in here. So I may just go snatch a center section from the junkyard that has a limited slip. Maybe, we'll see. I got to get this thing in, get it dry. I got to be able to put it on the street first and make sure everything is good to go there. And then, you know, if I have 3 or 4 days ahead of time, then I'll go over and pick one of those up and put it in. Because at that point, I probably need to have it reshimmed, the pinion gear reshimmed based on how that center section would mount. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, we got to get working, man. Here, tell us about some driven stuff.
Yeah, let me hit this ad read and we'll talk about upcoming events.
Hey, it's Brandon from Fort Smith, Arkansas here. Driven Racing Oil is a performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application. Whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing the limits in top-fueled drag boats and demo derbies, winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cleaning and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat-tapped camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil and enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance.
Oh, yeah. And you guys know code DDR10 gets you a 10% discount on everything on the Driven Racing Oil website. So oil, we use some speed lube while we were at the event. They've got degreaser, speed wax, all kinds of great products. So use code DDR10, save you 10%.
Yeah, got to have two-wheel peel.
And Tom says, are you going to add rear brakes?
Yeah, $207 for a complete everything, including drums. So we're definitely ordering that. That should be here. I would think I'm probably going to do that next week. That's kind of my goal for next Wednesday night. Steven and Wes are going to come over and we'll put all the axle or put all the brakes up together, but I got to get it mounted first. So I want to do that without all that headache. So yeah, so definitely getting rear brakes. Not that it was sketchy on the way home or anything. I felt like it was probably the same, which is even scarier.
Tell us about Route 66 Roundup.
So, of course, coming up October 17th, I'm really excited about this event. We're starting at the legendary Tulsa Midnight Drags, which is going to be awesome. And then we're going to do breakfast, and then we're doing part of Import Face-Off the next day. We're going to run the rest of our times in our second round in Import Face-Off. So that should be kind of fun to do. And just wanted to feature our title sponsor for the Street and Strip series, Mr. Robert Young, went out and bought this car because he's like, I got to have a real drag and drive car, got to have a fast car to do this kind of stuff with. You guys gave me the bug when we came for the first 2 single day events. He is completely he's ate up with drag and drive. He's getting cars changed over, putting bigger radiators and stuff, but bought this car. And dude, this thing went 874 like his 3rd time out.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty incredible. So I'm really excited about that. Big inch turbo LS in this Honda S2000. And the second time out completely destroyed the rear center section. It's still independent rear. Dude, like tore the pinion away from the ring gear. Like just completely pulled it apart. So I'm kind of excited about him being there. And then to answer Tom's thanks is get a good welder for the mounts. Yeah, I'll definitely be welding the spots that he didn't get. I'll be welding those on with my own. I've got a Eastwood MIG here at the house, so I'll go ahead and get those knocked out while I'm in there putting on the shock mounts from Summit. And then I wanted to give a shout out to Adam Dory, Rye Klemp, and Brian Wagner, who are all friends of Drag and Drive. Obviously, Adam, one of the biggest friends and proponents for Drag and Drive. Rye Klemp, been on here several times. Love that dude. They're all going to be at Mustang Week this week, put on by Power Auto Media. This thing should be pretty crazy. I don't know. I've never been to a Mustang Week. I keep trying to talk those guys into getting the Power Auto Media team. Let us do a drag and drive during something like this. So we're working on, I'm always dropping hints about that. And I was messaging back and forth with Adam today and telling him, hey, while you got the powers to be out there, let them know. So
for sure.
So that'd be kind of fun. Tell us about what else going on across the community.
Well, we are on day 2 of Sick Michigan Mile, so we have 3 days remaining. of this event. We're going to cover the standings here a little bit later as of today. Next up, we've got Dragway Rush, which is the 19th through the 22nd. Started today, so exciting there. And then we end the month with Cruise and Lose, 2 days away, starting on the 21st. That is the end of our events for August.
Man, that's crazy. And Dragway Rush did I think it's pre-registration today or something like that, and they did it most of the day, which is kind of cool. And then they will take people in the morning. So if you're on the fence, get in your car now and go run it. No, Ranger 50 TT or 50 TT says Michigan Miles has been a blast. And dude, Kanan Hall, did you see the burnout he did?
No, I haven't seen that.
Paul Bigelow, yeah. Dude, he's right. He's co-piloting with him. Son, they laid it down, dude.
Nice.
Big time burnout today. So go look up Kanan Hall. That was badass.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for September, the events we got left is Hot Rod Drag Week, which is the 13th through 18th, which is the next event that I will be at. Then we have, that is in 26 days.
Come on.
Redwood Rally, the 21st through 26th. That is 33 days away. And Sick 66. That one always catches me. The 27th through October 3rd, only 39 days away. And I will be at one of the days, one of the tracks, maybe the 2 days, because they hit the track, then they do a drive day, and then they come back to the track. So I hit those, and you're going to hit the 2 tracks at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, so it should be pretty fun. I intend to be at MoCan, like I said earlier, on Sunday after spending the weekend at Flying H with Midwest Drag Race Series. Jan Haas going to be headed out to Cruise and Lose, is really trying to not be a loser this year.
Nice.
Yeah. Not
fun.
a loser is their winter trophies. So pretty cool.
Then we move into October, and we've got a stacked October to end out the year. We've got Weekend Warrior Race and Relax, October 2nd through 4th. That is only 45 days away.
No
Seems
way.
crazy to think that. Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0, the 4th through the 8th. That is 47 days away. Our Route 66 Roundup on the 17th. That is 60 days away. So 2 months coming up quick. Southeast Street and Yeet, the 20th through 24th. 63 days away. Wild West Dragon Dash, again, the only event in Texas, the 21st through 24th, 64 days away. And then ending the month, Street Machine Drag Challenge, the 27th through 31st, 70 days away.
How many days did you say until race week?
Until Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 is 47 days.
Stephen Narks, does that stress you out? A little bit. He said he's hoping to have the car fired by the end of the month, which is in 11 days, for race week and also for the short circuit. This is not a secret build. It's one you guys have seen some pictures of in the background of some stuff, but this thing should be pretty fun if he gets it done.
Sweet. Yeah. And then our last events for the season, which is sad to think about already. Short Circuit 2026, November 6th and 7th, and a Road Trip Drag Challenge number 3, November 6th through 8th. Those are both only 81 days away.
Golly, that's so crazy. Man, I can't wait. We need to do some kind of back and forth. We need some trash talk between them. Maybe 650 class would be pretty good. And then, of course, Buckeye Skips here. We are building out the 2027 schedule. I haven't begun posting on it yet, but we will very soon, probably the end of this month as we get into September. So, Skippy, if you'll send me a message, I'll get that added to our list as well. Steven says stress level is high, trying to get the C60 done also so you can tow with it. That's another secret project. We probably shouldn't even have talked about that as well, but that's another build. So both these, we've been collecting content on those under Narcoleptic Customs and plan to drop those as, shorter build series. Instead of taking the 3 months and posting one every week, we're going to condense it and post it across 3 weeks maybe.
It'll be cool.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of fun.
Well, that puts us at somewhere around 49 events for this season. Again, you can find all of those events at dragdriverepeat.com/events. And you will be able to see that interactive map that Mike showed earlier with the events grayed out that have been completed and the blue dots for all the events that are still coming up. So super excited. Go check that out. Tons of events still, even though we're winding down second half of the season, still tons of stuff to cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bring it on, man. I can't wait.
All right. Well, again, you guys can use code DDR10 to get 10% discount on the Driven Racing Oil website. So make sure you write that down or put it somewhere so next time you're shopping there, you can use that discount code and save a little bit of money. All right, so moving on to J-Wire, I will hit this ad read, and then we've got some stuff here to talk about too.
What's up, guys? My name is Cole from Fort Worth, Texas. Expert car and marine wiring solutions that you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, your race car, hell, even your drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience way better, like their blinker module that is just a must for all drag and drive cars. This module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. Find all the details at jwiresolutions.com.
Oh, for sure. And Jay has been working on something himself here. He made a post and said, something we've been working on for a while, a standalone controller to run 2017 to 2022 Ford OEM power running boards on virtually anything.
Mm-hmm.
No CAN bus or factory Ford module needed. Said getting the latest version into real world testing now. What would you put a set on?
Oh, dude, Jason Hurley's tow rig.
Oh, yes, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. That I don't know if Steven's new big truck build would work with that. It's probably gonna sit too low, but yeah, stuff like that, man. I love old cars with running boards.
That would be sweet, and that's a brilliant idea too. It's not something I would have ever thought of. So big shout out to Jay for working on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And a lot of times you can buy used power running boards a lot cheaper than you can buy brand new sets and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and Jay loves that nerdy stuff like that. So it's gonna be great.
For sure.
Hang on, that's not what we're talking about next, dude. Did you see? Is this what you and your wife are going to Chicago for?
It is not the reason we're going to Chicago. However, we might be going this Friday night. So
nice.
This is going to hit the guys and girls that are our age. Yeah. Fast and Furious is getting re-released in theaters starting, I believe, tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
it's running for 1 week only. So the original Fast and Furious movie, the one that probably every one of us drove our whatever hot rods we had at the time 25 years ago to the theaters and watch that movie. It's going to be re-released, and I'm kind of excited to see if I go to this theater, how many cool cars are going to be sitting in the parking lot. Because if you go to the movie theaters on a regular Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's not cool cars sitting there. Mm-hmm. And I've seen all over my feed, obviously, tons of race car friends all over my Facebook feed. There's tons of people that have been talking about this, outdoor theaters that are playing it. Pretty excited. 25 years really made me think. I was 15.
No way, dude. God, I was an adult. I was 20.
So didn't even drive anything, I guess, to the theaters probably.
Wow, that's pretty wild to think that, either your dad dropped you off or you rode with some friends.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, they're trying to get it done during Cruise and Lose, but not quite. But hey, there's plenty of time for that. That's awesome. So I'm going. My wife and one of my daughters are going, and then my cousin is going. I don't think she went with us the first time, but Steven and his son are going, which is super cool. And then so when it came out, I'm almost certain that me, Steven, and Christopher, our other male cousin, I think we all three took the old truck to the thing. So, man, it really is difficult for me not to put this thing back together in the way that we drove it home and take it up there. But I just don't want to do that. I want it to be right when it goes back together because we got more important things to do than take it to this. But we are going to take the NARCS cart, and I'm kind of excited about that. So my neighbor hosts a thing cruising the Ozarks, and it's a charitable car show deal, and they're doing a big thing at a local theater here, so we're going to go up there and hang out.
Kristen, oh my gosh. I didn't watch it until about 5 years later. Didn't want to watch an import movie. Yeah, I mean that was the time though. Like that's what we were all into. At least our age. I think we were all into that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think it really kicked off a lot of people into just the car scene in general. Whether you went the way of the imports or you went a different way. Lot of
that movie had been like just a trilogy. Like it was just a trilogy. It was just 3. They didn't even have to take out Tokyo Drift and you go with like a third theme in there, and that had been it. Dude, think about how much different the world would be now in automotive stuff. Now they're just goofy movies, but man, back then, dude, it was the jam.
Yeah, supposedly this next one is going back to the original, so we'll see. It still doesn't come out, I think, till 2028.
Yeah. So, I just can't believe it's been 25 years. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my wife and I watched Too Fast and Too Furious together in theaters and have watched every one in theaters since then when it came out.
Yeah, for a long time, I hosted a car show on the premiere night. Like we would host a big car show Friday night. It was really fun to do. And we did that in Fayetteville for several years. And then that manager left and the next people didn't care. So It was cool, man. We had a bunch of cars and I think one event we had like 300 plus cars show up. So
yeah, I talked about it at work today and people are like, why is it coming back out? I'm like, dude, it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking to people that are only like 27. So, they just don't know.
Oh, man, that's so sad. That's so sad. All right, let's get moving. Did you get a chance to watch this today? This was freaking badass.
I did not.
Ned Dunphy may get ambassador award this year for this because he's been a lot of different places, has done several interviews. This one here was probably my favorite. He really did a great job mixing the pro mod racing side of stuff and drag and drive side of stuff. And man, these guys, by the end of the conversation, they're like, we got to do a drag and drive. We got to do a drag and drive. So I was dropping Wild West Drag and Dash because it's right down the street from West there in Texas. And so this one was pretty good. So big shout out to Ned Dunphy, great ambassador to the sport and a dude that just won PDRA Pro Boost, big deal, and is now on the West Buck Show because of that. But then also, one of the guys for the top contenders for Drag Week again, current record holder, all that stuff.
And he's wearing a Drag Week t-shirt.
Does it get any cooler?
Right. I'm pretty jealous of his beard, though. That thing looks.
Look how, yeah, dude.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, that guy has like a real job, right? And does important things. We don't know what he does, but it's important. And then goes out and is like a hell of a drag racer, hell of a car guy. So super cool stuff, man. Big shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, sir, tell us about some Michigan Mile stuff.
All right, so just to catch everybody up on the first couple days, Sick the Mag, these are updates that they had posted on Facebook. So it says, day one at Mid-Michigan Motorplex saw a first-time leader as Connor Liamstole clocked a new record for Sick 8th mile events with a 4.783 at 165 in his father Rob's Chevy Nova. Super cool. Said it's a close race in the top 4 with Connor just ahead of Chuck Marlett with a 4.841, Aiden Bailey with a 5.026, and John Moore with a 5.077. So that was day one. Today was day 2, and Chuck Marlett stunned the field with a 4.869 to be the early leader today. That's going to be a tough time to beat. So they are preparing to continue north for the drive today as they cross the Mackinac Bridge before turning around for a drive day tomorrow ahead of a return to racing at Ubley on Friday, Lapeer on Saturday, and Mid-Michigan Motorplex on Sunday.
How cool, man. Yeah, this one is one that's on my list. I'm sure they won't go back in 2027, but 2028, maybe I'll have something ready for it by then.
Yep. So we'll go through these. Again, these are the standings as of completion of today. So again, these are not your typical classes that you would see at a SICK event. These are the quickest in different categories. So first up is the quickest Chevy GMC, which is Aiden Bailey and his 57 Chevy with an average of 5.123.
Nice. And then the quickest Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury is Mr. Tom Cooper, 94 F-150. Dude, I love this thing. It's that salmon and brown color there. 541 average for him so far.
Ranger says, Mackinac. Come on now, Mackinac. This one has always tripped me up. I'm not from Michigan, but why is it spelled Mackinac but pronounced Mackinac?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's some southern shit there, bud.
Quickest Mopar, Terry Kiefer, 1967 Plymouth Barracuda with a 5.773 average.
Nice. Quickest Olds, Mr. Christopher Weingartz there, 82 Oldsmobile, 784 for him.
Yep. I think you missed the quickest Pontiac, Douglas White, in a 1989 Firebird with a nice 6.10000 average.
got all the zeros on that one. Quickest stick shift, Mr. William Flippin, 2000 Corvette with a 598 average so far.
Quickest naturally aspirated, Paul English in a 1970 Dodge Super Bee with a 6.334 average.
Nice. And then quickest nitrous car. I like this. We have Dave Schroeder on in a couple of weeks to talk about some nitrous stuff. Going to learn a lot that night. Mr. Josh Offerman, 2004 GMC Sierra, running a 650 average for him for the weekend.
Nice.
Week so far.
Quickest radial, another one that's pronounced nothing like it's spelled, Eric Berkowitz with a 2000 Chevy Camaro with a 5.356 average.
Man, that's right on the money too, because that's a dude that won at Six Summer Street Race 275.
I think so.
Yeah, that car's deadly competitive. Quickest gasser here, Mr. Jay Grabiak in the 55 Chevy. Love that car. 628 average for him so far.
Quickest hot rod, Zachary Blousey, 1923 Ford Model T, 5.972 average.
Yeah, and I saw he posted today that he needed a welder, ended up finding one that had to re-weld on a motor mount. Pretty awesome. And then quickest big block, Mr. Charles Marlatt, 85 Camaro, 485 average for him so far.
Yeah, he is laying it down.
Mm-hmm.
Derek here saying, been a great couple days so far on Michigan Miles. Thanks for the coverage. And Caden, who we talked about earlier, said phone's about to die, but we've been chugging along. We are in fastest small block third place.
Nice.
So pretty cool there. All right.
Wait. He spelled it different. Said currently at the hotel on the beach across from Mackinac Island Bridge. If it was spelled like that in the post, we'd have done it. Eric Beercatvit. Yeah, you were close.
That was close. Appreciate that. Quickest small block is Kevin Parton, 67 Chevy Nova with a 5.431 average.
Nice. And then quickest diesel, Mr. Dustin West in an 01 Chevy 2500, 668 so far for him.
Nice. Quickest four-cylinder, Adam Helmer in a 2022 DF Goblin, which I think is pretty cool, 8.253 average.
Yeah, that thing's so cool, man. I love it. He's done Street Meet in the past. I think is awesome. Quickest six-cylinder, Mr. Steve McNair in a Cadillac ATSV, not CTSV, ATSV with a 731 average for him so far.
And then quickest NHRA Junior Street in the DYO, Connor Aspergren in a 1965 Chevy Impala wagon, 9.419 average.
Come on. Way to go, dude. That's awesome. Quickest motorcycle V-twin, Mr. Sean Clark, 2015 Harley Street Glide, 702 for him.
And the quickest motorcycle 1,000 and above cc, Jim Clark, in a 2014 Harley Street Glide with a 704 average.
Sounds like those two dudes need to duke it out.
Right. So pretty awesome. That is your current standings as of day 2. So still 3 more days. And again, once the event is finished, we will have all the final results. Probably not this weekend. Probably our show next Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll update these same stats on Saturday morning with whoever the guest co-host is I have that day. So, dude, look at these shots from Sigma Mag.
That one was awesome.
Yeah, the rain, street cars and rain, dude, epic, legendary shots.
Yeah, that's a great shot. And then one of the route stops, it's Steve Morris Engines.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then our boy, Mr. Marty in there, Martin Kilroy. That's awesome, man. I love that thing. And he had invited me to be his co-pilot, and I just couldn't make it work. But I hope they're having a blast.
Yeah. And Derek said they've been matching up Harleys every run, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So they're side by side. That's pretty neat.
All right. Well, that wraps up our J-Wire segment. And let's see, what do we got? We've got Molly up next, where we're going to talk about some drag week stuff.
Mm-hmm. Bring it on.
So let me hit this ad read, and then we'll jump right into that.
Looking for a forged piston kit for your vehicle? You need Molly Motorsport Power Pack. What is Power Pack? It's the ultimate forged piston kit that comes complete with pistons, performance file fit rings, hot string steel pins, and clips, all engineered to work together, so all you have to do is build something great. Find your Power Pack at mollymotorsport.com.
All right, man. And of course, like I said in the opening part of the show, oh yeah, for sure. George Wright going to be at Drag Week. He's not racing this year, but he will be there helping with, knowledge and helping people make the week and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be kind of fun to get to catch up with him. We don't usually get to hang out with him much because he's so busy racing. So it'll be kind of exciting to hang out and do some fun stuff with him. Hot Rod Drag Week 2026. So you guys know this, I've said it a bunch, but I feel like this is going to be the quickest year that we've ever seen. Okay. I think this is going to be the quickest time so far. And it starts now with people testing. We talked about this last week. There were several people that were testing last weekend. Ned talked about it when he was on with us, but then also we talked about it with Wes today, that he's going to be testing August 30th for the Viper to make the first full quarter-mile runs in that car since the refresh and updates and things like that have come along. So that should be kind of fun. He would not give us the 8th mile times so far, but someone did give us some 8th mile times. We're not going to say who this was, and I'm going to post this up later. But how about 0.995 to the 60 foot? Like a sub 1 second 60 foot in a street car?
Yes.
Bro, come on. That's badass. That is badass. And this other number here kind of gets us an idea of what we're looking at here. How about 391 to the 8th?
Bring it on.
Dude, they blacked out the 1,000 and the 1320, but 391 to the 8th that's real fast.
Yes, it is.
That's real fast. I think that's in the kind of numbers that we're looking at here for Drag Week stuff. So should be exciting. We're going to have a good time. Let's see, what other photos do I have in here? Oh, let's not talk about those yet. Let's talk about, because I was doing some stuff for Wes today for their show, and you know how I get nerdy and just start looking stuff. I want to go over the top 10 single quickest passes in Hot Rod Drag Week history. You ready for this? Let's start from the bottom. Me and you'll go up. We'll go backwards. So first up, honorable mention. This is number 11 on the list, but the reason it's here is because it's so close to number 10. But it's Mr. Ned Dunphy from Hot Rod Drag Week 2024 on day 1, lays down a 6.196 quarter mile time. Insane. So I'll let you do number 10 there because he's a stud.
Yep. Number 10, Jeff Lutz on Hot Rod Drag Week 2016, day 1, 6.195. Again, like you just mentioned, Ned Dunphy was 6.196.
At number 11. Number 9, Mr. Tom Bailey, Hot Rod Drag Week 2022, day 3. This is kind of interesting because there's only one other, or I guess there's 2 other day 3s in here. But Hot Rod Drag Week 2022, Mr. Tom Bailey, 618 for him.
Wow. Number 8, Ned Dunphy coming in on Hot Rod Drag Week 2025 day 1 with a 6.178.
That's so awesome. And then Ned Dunphy again, Hot Rod Drag Week 2025 day 3, 6.166 for number 7 on this list.
Number 6, Jeff Lutz on Hot Rod Drag Week 2016 day 4 ran a 6.147.
And I always say it, day 4 is the toughest, and that's the only day 4 on this list.
It is.
Yeah. Number 5, halfway through the top 10 here, Mr. Ned Dunphy, Hot Rod Drag Week 2025, day 2, and the quickest day 2 pass in the history of drag and drive, 6.114. So not only did he not just go out and lay it all out on day 1, he did it on day 2 as well. That's his quickest pass at Drag Week.
Yeah, he's got day 1, day 2, and day 3 of Drag Week 2025 on this list.
Yeah.
And coming in at number 4, Jeff Lutz again, Drag Week 2016, which obviously he's got a couple from 2016 on this list. This is day 3 with a 6.106.
Dude, that's insane. That is insane. Because by that point, they're 450 or 500 miles in.
Yeah, and we are at number 4, and that is 2016. Yeah. Number 4 out of the top 10 single fastest passes in history 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, this is in Drag Week. I do have a top 10 list we're going to go over on Saturday that's all-time drag and drive. How about Mr. Jeff Lutz at number 3 here? Hot Rod Drag Week 2015, day 1, goes out, lays it out 6.05 with a 1.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And then number 2, Tom Bailey, Hot Rod Drag Week 2022, day 1, 6.032.
Yeah. Top spots, man. And number 1, the quickest pass in Drag Week history, in drag and drive history that will this fall this year. This is why this list is important to me. Mr. Tom Bailey, Hot Rod Drag Week 2019, day 5, 5.998, 250 miles an hour. Insane, bro. This is this list. So top 10, the number 10, 6.195, the number 1 spot, 5.998. The question I have to you, sir, is how many of these are going to fall off? How many racers can truly go out? Are we going to have 3 or 4 or 5 5-second passes to add to this list as we get done with Hot Rod Drag Week 2026?
I'm going to say we have at least 2 passes that make this top 10 list.
Wow, man, I hope it's way more than that. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. But like
6.195.
Dude, that's why this conversation is so important, and it's so hard because, like, when you look at how hard this is, like, this is across years. This is 20 years of history here, and the top 10 is 6.195. Like, That's craziness, man. Crazy.
Right. And Tom here makes a good point. The Drag Week drives from Cordova to St. Louis, and then from St. Louis to Chicago. Mm-hmm. Which is going to definitely test the street strength of these cars. 2 long drives.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Cordova to St. Louis is going to be tough. That's going to be a lot of 2-lane type stuff. But, man, are they going to route us from St. Louis to Chicago along the interstate? You know, a divided highway at least? Like, is that going to make it easier? Because that's got to be pretty far. Hold on, let's look that up while we're
I want to say it's got to be 4 hours from St. Louis to Joliet.
Oh, at least to Route 66 Raceway. Yeah, 252 miles by the interstate.
Yeah.
And surely they won't take us along that when you have the opportunity to run, a lot of Route 66 there. If you go the slower route, it's 280 miles. Like, if you go over 70 to Effingham, dude, if they take us on 70 to Effingham, RIP, ain't nobody making that. If it meant my steel wheel like that, I can't imagine what it's going to do to some front runners.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
55 is the only divided highway.
Yeah, but will they take that? I don't know. Maybe they have released the routes. I don't know. Should be pretty interesting, though. I'm really kind of excited about that. That shows 252 miles just by the highway, by the quickest way. So should be pretty interesting. The roads through there are going to be relatively tough, I think. But one thing that is not as tough, backbone of Drag and Drive stuff here. This is 10 seconds and slower Street Machine Eliminator. As I made in my post the other day, this is a class that I'm going to follow pretty heavily here. Andreen Motorsports says, just set the cruise at 65 and go. Some folks can do that. Several of these cars in Street Machine Eliminator can do that. I know there are some cars that are, not built to go that kind of speed and stuff like that. And so I made a post the other day about who's coming to Street Machine Eliminator, what's your bring in, all that kind of fun stuff. I love this class. This class, in historically speaking, as you get to those 850 index classes, people are really trying to get as close as they can to 850, right? When you look at this class, the goal is to get to that top 32. So you can run like a 1020 and be easy on your car. You just need to make that top 32 class. They do have a winner overall for the quickest average, which is currently like a 10.030 for Mr. Mike Reimars. But typically that's not something that is really beat on, right? People aren't trying to go a perfect 10.000. I think there's really only ever been one perfect pass in Street Machine Eliminator history. So this class is interesting to me because it's the only class that races in drag week. So if you get he says Route 66 runs along I-55 from Springfield to the north. So that's cool. So we should be able to do a lot of that and have a lot of fun, bounce off of 55 onto 66 quite a bit. So, all right. So back to Street Machine Eliminator. This class, I think, is going to be a lot of fun this year. Last year's bump spot was 10:51, which is the quickest it had ever been. It had never been that fast for the top 32. So I think that's going to be kind of fun to watch as we go along here. Mike Turner, our 2023 champion, he said, I'm going to throw some more nitrous at it and see if we can get in with some 1050 runs, see if we can back into the shootout after missing last year and win again like I did in 2023. His car typically was running like 1070s, I think, on the nitrous setup he had. So, if 1070 is not going to make the cut this year, you're going to have to run into some 1050s.
Yeah. Next up here, Jeff Dugapolsky said, bring in the big gun. This will be my attempt for win number 4 and SME number 15. Said, warning, I am due for a win and just won his class at Havlic's fastest street car shootout. Yeah,
I can't wait for that one. Mr. David Lips, our buddy, Mr. Dustin Carlington, is returning. Last year's number 1 qualifier with a 10.0508. He said, you're defending number 1 qualifier, 6th all-time quickest average, and first-round loser 2 years in a row to a Mustang both years. Dang it. We'll be back in the purple turd with a pinch more pulley to see if we can knock down our 10.0508 average.
Wow.
Yeah, bring it on.
Todd Taylor is going to be there in the Gen X Camaro.
Which makes me wonder if Nick Taylor is going to come as his co-pilot.
Didn't think about that.
I know Nick's been super busy with all the other stuff, but is a heck of a drag and drive racer, and then to be able to get in the top 32 would be kind of fun for those guys. And then David Studley says, I'll be back for a 3rd year in my Maliboost. We were number 4 qualifier in 2025 with a 1013 average and lost in a semifinal by, are you ready for this, 0.014, earning a 3rd place finish. Dang.
Michael Cavallero will be there, usually a top qualifier. Thing is now a stick shift, though, so anything can happen. We'll also be driving the car and trailer 763 miles to the start.
Come on, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. One of the toughest racers out there, and good luck to anyone that draws this guy, because this car can go into the 9s, so we know it can run 10s. Mr. Azim Sheik is coming.
Yeah. Dave Dissinger, I hope to defend my 2025 title. It's a great class, a lot of fun for sure.
And then Ryan B says, was stuck at 1150 in 2022 because of no cage, but she's finally ready to come back and be competitive in SME. I can't wait.
And then the final one, can't forget about these two dudes. Steve and Pete Holm will be competing in their 19th drag week.
Bro, that is insane. Which I love this story. I started talking about this in 2022. These guys think I'm so weird because I'm always talking to them, but it's really cool. 19 drag weeks in the same car, same driver and co-pilot. Super cool, man. I love that story. I can't imagine being that badass. Like, they did 17 drag and drives and finished every single one of them. Yeah. Right. Then they did 6 summer, broke at 6 summer, couldn't do drag week for 1 year. And then now they're, man. So they were back last year, but that was their 18th, and then 19th drag week, dude. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, in the center of the photo you got on the screen too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, listen, anytime I can pick a photo, it's going to have Steve Eden or Pete Holm on it. That's those are my dudes, man. Like, that car's run everything from low 10s to high 12s to just anything. 1 year he put what he called his high school motor, which was literally the motor that was in that car in high school, like with a few upgrades as you got older, but that car ran like 12 somethings. You know what I mean? Like, that's just cool to me, dude.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, super neat. So I can't wait. Street Machine Eliminator is a class I'm following. Obviously, Street Race Power, Street Race Small Block Power Adder is another class we'll be following along with the 850 stuff. One that has me interested this year is Street Race Big Block Power Adder. I think we're going to see some folks that have some big cubic inch small block stuff sneak over into that and take this 850 stuff to the next one. Oh, wow. Andrew Motorsports says, we don't expect to be competitive in Pro Street at Drag Week, but it's drag and drive. Anything can happen. Man, those guys have been all over the place. They did Big Sky Race Week. Now they're doing Drag Week. This ought to be awesome. They did the circuit.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, Pro Street's a heavy hitter class. That class should be somewhere in the 6s. So big shout out to Molly. Appreciate them for all they do for us. And of course, you're running Molly Pistons in the Mustang, so can't wait to kind of lean on those and see what we've got going on there. Learning opportunities there abound for sure.
100%. All right. Well, appreciate all of our race car friends for tuning in so far, halfway through the show. We are just about ready to get into the Olympic streetcar guests here coming up next, so stay tuned for that. And again, just appreciate all of our race car friends, everyone that's a Race Car Friends member, all of our race car friends who comment on our posts. Again, you guys drive us, and if you guys weren't our race car friends, I wouldn't have anything to take pictures of.
Yeah, right.
And of course, can't do this without all of our sponsors. Again, traveling to Havlicks, traveling to Drag Week, all the events that we attend. Again, can't do it without these guys. Thank you to Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, AFCO Racing Products, Performer-Built Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, Low Dollar Motorsports, Power Tube TV, and Racing Junk. And then we have a Deechworks ad, and then I think we'll be ready to bring in our guests.
From street miles to track passes, your fuel system has one job: perform when it matters most. At Deechworks, we engineer high-performance fuel systems built for the demands of drag and drives. From injectors and fuel pumps to filters and regulators, every component is engineered to be reliable and consistent under real-world conditions. Whether you're chasing a personal best or driving hundreds of miles between tracks, Deechworks delivers the fuel system your build requires.
Mm-hmm. And of course, code DDR10, 10% discount on all of your stuff at deechworks.com. I'm excited about this conversation. The Olympic Street Car Shootout deal has me intrigued for sure. It's one of the only events in the Pacific Northwest. It's one of the only events on the West Coast. You got BC Drag It Challenge, you got Redwood Rally, and you've got Olympic Street Car Shootout. So I appreciate promoters taking this on. This is a big undertaking. I don't think people understand the level of stress that goes into putting on a drag and drive, especially in an area that it's not typically known for. Like, we're lucky here in the Midwest, you up in Byron, me here in, called Tulsa, Oklahoma, my race car home. People do drag and drives here. We get several a year. We had 5 visit Tulsa Raceway Park last year. I mean, it's very easy. We've done 4 there this year. You know, there's a lot of opportunity for promotion here. Olympic Street Car Shootout, they're the only ones that visit this track. They're the only ones in the Pacific Northwest. They're the only ones, you know, like we can make this list. But I want to bring these guys on and let them kind of tell their story here. So again, I'm excited. I appreciate them coming on. This is the first time they've been on the episode, and we got Lane and Jeremy on. Let's make you guys big here. Present you guys, and then just introduce yourself, and then tell us what's going on.
Well, first off, can you hear us all right?
Yep.
Okay. Jeremy and I'm Lane. It's Jeremy. We're the promoters of the Olympic Street Car Shootout. We just wrapped up year 3. So it's been 3 successful years so far.
Yeah. You guys have done really well, man. I'm excited to see this come up on the calendar every year. And you got to tell us, so how did this thing come up?
Well, we were just sitting around talking about, with our Malibus. He's building my motor for me. And I'm like, what are we going to do with these things? So we're talking about going to do the Redwood, or would love to go do like a sick week someday. And we're like, why don't we just start one? So we just started meeting up, having dinners during the week, and started writing down things on a notepad. And here we are 3 years later now.
Yeah, did a test drive out to see what we would want to do, and kind of thought, if we could get like 6 cars to do it with us, that'd be great. And opened registration for the first year, and we had quite a few sign up, and a lot of interest. So we moved forward with it, and a couple small changes over time, but for the most part, we follow the year 1 outline, and it's all been smooth sailing.
And we just moved it farther into the year to get a little better weather out here in the Northwest, because we run into that rain part out here quite often.
Yeah, we've had rain every season except this one. So we moved it from the end of May, early June to early August, and we were greeted with 70s and 80s in the temperatures. So it was nice this year.
Bro, that's awesome. Wow. So when you start looking at this, your format is set up how? Like you guys have you work on a single track, and then you have a drive day in between, right? So Friday you have a drive day, Saturday, and then again on Sunday, right?
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So we get about 5 to 6 runs on Friday at Bremerton Raceway, and then you turn in your 2 best time slips, and then you got some lights going on.
Motion.
So you turn in your 2 best time slips, you're happy there. Whether you're in the index class, you're going to be one as close to your index as you can. If you're in one of the heads up ones, you turn in your best time slips there. And then on Saturday morning, we go to our first checkpoint and start the day from there. So, and then you come back Sunday and do it again. We get about 5 runs on Sunday and turn in 2 time slips.
Yeah.
So then we take, averages from there.
This year was also, we incorporated kind of a quick 8. So Friday night, after we had the averages all figured out, we kind of put out a top 10, with 2 alternates in case, 2 of the top 8, I guess, weren't able to complete the drive. And to kind of add a little bit more of a excitement factor, but like, true drag and drive fashion, you got to race and drive same day. So, we did the drive, came back and did a quick 8 shootout that Jeremy actually won. So.
That's badass. And now, was that on Saturday night or was that on Sunday?
Saturday night after the drive, about an hour and a half after the 180 miles, mid 80s, we got back and changed it over and went out there and raced.
Yep.
Dude, I like that a bunch. That's a really cool way to do it, because it gives people a reason to come back to the track Saturday night. But then it also, the whole time you're driving, you're thinking, man, did I turn this up enough?
Yeah, exactly. When everybody got back, we greeted all of our racers. We had a, free pizza, and then one of our first pit stops, he brought a whole cooler full of beer and gave out his personal blend beer, and everybody had a good time out watching the shootout.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, let's run through some of these class winners. This is always a fun thing to do with the promoters, because what we'd love to do is have you guys kind of go through it. We'll say the names of the winners, and if the class was tied or whatever, we'll go 1, 2, 3. But like, kind of give us some rundown of these guys here. Eric, I'll let you start.
All right. So first class limited street was won by Jaron Mitchum, 5.904 average. And then second place was Matt Houston with a 6.496 average. And third place, Javier Hernandez with a 6.578 average.
Yeah, limited street's always fun. In the past, it's kind of been our fast class, but we felt the need to, like those three that you just named off, they've been participants in limited street, but they don't exactly have cars to that make 1,500 horsepower, let's say. So we added some power adder restrictions, tire limitations, which that's always been there, but like real deal, something that you could pass driving to work on a sunny Friday is kind of what we wanted limited street to be. And I think it worked out great. Obviously Jared, had a bit of advantage. Looks like 5/10 over second place, but second and third was really close. And Marissa, I think they ended up leaving a little bit early when Donovan had a couple issues on Sunday. But.
Gotcha. So limited street, you said that used to be your quickest class, or your
80 mil turbo on that class now.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Why 80? Well, I guess at 88 you can make a whole bunch of power.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's it. We tried. Obviously, rules need to be fluid to kind of adapt. But we felt like we got pretty close. For the half a second, it's really not too bad.
Well, right, and number 2 and 3 are close. They're 800ths apart, which is awesome. That's the kind of race you're wanting. 3-pedal class, Mr. Ryan Young just ran off with that one. 6.0 average for him, and I think the second one was like a second slower than that. So he had that one kind of wrapped up.
Yeah, it's interesting because if I recall, those two actually swapped positions in Redwood last year. I believe Caleb was number 1, or Ben, sorry. And Ryan was number 2. So, it was kind of interesting to see, a nitrous car come to an 8-mile format, and take over the turbo car spot. At Bremerton, we're racing on an old airport. It's really, it's not Vegas, it's not Indy, it's not anything special. So it is a little bit more of a tuner's game, but that's why we add more runs to it also to kind of let everybody get dialed in. 3 years running, like Ryan, he's done it all 3 years. So he has the ability to look back at some old information, see what works, and, apply it. This year he was awarded with number 1.
That's awesome. Do you call your cars? You said everybody gets 5 or 6 runs. Do you have a punch card? Is it open run? Is it like, do you call by the classes?
Come to the lanes. They say on Friday, it's like we get called, our class gets called to the lanes on the hour, each hour.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So you get down there, if you miss that run, you're not going to go up there and just go get one randomly. You're going to come down as a group. And then on Sunday, we fill in along with the normal bracket program. And we just rotation with like pro, super pro, and then we follow super pro. So we're a class on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you come down with your class, you're not going to go up there and just make a pass on your own.
Yeah. Jeremy and I have also made tradition of being the last cars down the track. So we have it on our time slips to, verify each time slip turned in isn't, after ours, to make sure that didn't sneak in any additional run.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
All right. We'll go to the next class. Extreme Street. Looks like this one was probably the quickest class and a pretty tight class here. Lane, looks like you took that one with a 5.262 average, but second place was Jeremy Sears with a 5.278 average. Third place was Mike Grady with a 5.324 average, and then fourth was Brant Coulter with a 5.365 average. So all pretty tight there.
Yeah. It definitely was Friday was a little bit of a tuner's game. They hadn't raced on the track in like a month.
And it was mid-80s out.
It was, yeah. So it was hot, a little bit slimy. As the day went on, track got better. A lot of people were struggling though. I think the fastest pass the first session was 571. I think it was you.
Yeah,
I think I went 573.
Yeah.
And so like it was fast, right off the trailer. And then
like Mike last year when it was in May, the track's a lot better and cooler. I mean, he knocked out a 512 in our deal, and no one even went 520 this year.
Yeah.
Just because it's the weather played a role, track temp played a role.
Yeah. I think 526 was the fastest run on Friday.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
You guys are talking about 80s being hot, bro. I'm sure the Michigan Miles racers would take 80s right now.
Hot for us. That's hot. Well, it doesn't help also, like I mentioned, we're racing on an old airplane.
They don't got the equipment.
We do have a tractor that happened to break on Friday too. So we're using the skids with rubber wrapped around the bucket, and we're dragging it across the starting line. It was an improvise and it worked. But cars going 520s with that, I think it's a testament to the track. They did a good job of putting forth a good effort.
Man, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And especially when you're looking at drag and drive racing and you're looking at all these cars, like they're all racing on the same track. No matter if it's good, mediocre, bad, whatever, it's all the same track. Everybody's got to get down the same thing, trying to get down the same track to do the same thing, which is go as fast as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
How cool.
Well, being a promoter is tough. Being a promoter and a racer is tough. How hard was it to be a promoter, a racer, and win your class?
It's a lot.
It's easy.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Luckily, we have a few people that helped us along the way, like during registration, helps us with tech. I mean, we got some good friends that really help us out a lot. That way we can get through everything. But I mean, we're running over there to our cars after, we get back, help everybody else, and then we're trying to get a tune in our stuff and then go out there and go down the track as well.
Yeah. More likely than not, we're probably not making the pass that we could potentially, just because, it's kind of all right, everybody's settled in, let's go back and throw something in it and try it. So maybe we aren't competing at the level we'd like to, but, it still works out okay. So.
How many passes per day are you guys getting yourselves?
6 to 4 is what we both made, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Then the shootout Saturday night.
It was just blind going into round 1. It was a card draw. I baited Brady Davis into drawing me, kind of. It was a blind round 1 draw and 8 cars, so 3 rounds. So we made 3 passes on Friday or Saturday evening. We actually raced each other in the final, so we both got the same amount of runs.
That's awesome, dude. That's fun. Well, let's move on to Real Street, which is your 750 index. Luke, how do you say your last name? Is it Kavar?
Savar.
Yeah. He won that class 751 average. That's badass, especially after you're talking about the track conditions. Sean Emerson, 755 with a 6 average. Cassie Tippy, 757 average. And then Scott Hasselbrook, 757 with a 9. So 5 thou separated 3rd and 4th place. So pretty impressive. And did I pick up on this earlier, Eric? Did they say you have 2 passes per day that you have to turn in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good going through getting those kind of numbers across 4 passes. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, Real Street's fun. It's always our biggest class. It kind of caters to some of the slower people that we're not huge into like dial your own class, which conveniently enough we bracket race 250 runs a year, so it's not. We do plenty of the dial on their own, but
it's fun. It's fun to put a number out there for them to.
It makes the averages a lot easier too when you're averaging off of one number, not trying to figure out a gross difference off of a certain ET. But
I know I saw it posted up. They're doing a 750 index now.
Yeah,
at the Redwood as a late edition.
Yeah, I love it. I think we're going to see more index stuff, but also I think people really enjoy the DYO stuff. I love the way that 6 sets their stuff up, which is based on the spread between your quickest and slowest pass. I think from a promoter standpoint, that's the easiest way to do that class. So you're not trying to have your racer give you a dial in or use the first dial in from day one. Like it just becomes this brain damage. But it's a simple formula in Excel, however you guys do your sheets, Excel or Google Sheets or whatever, but it's just a minimum, maximum, and then a sum to figure out the difference. So for races that have index stuff, how many cars, like is 750, I hate to say catch all, but is 750, that's your slowest index, and then somebody that runs like 820s, they're going to get in that class because there's not anything else they feel they are competitive in, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Correct, but they want to come and do it. They just enjoy it. We got quite a few people that come and do it just to come along and do the event, support it, that are slowly making their cars faster, getting closer to that index. They're just their first ever drag and drive since it's so new in the Northwest. So they're like, okay, let's see what we need to get to here. What do we got to do? So.
Yeah, for sure. And I love your timing too. I was just thinking about that. A couple of weeks before Redwood, this would really allow some people to do some testing on a car that maybe has no street time, has no, ability to run that. So that's good timing on y'all's part too.
Oh yeah. We try to market us as as an entry level event. Some people don't like it. Some people do. We're definitely laxed on the drag and drive rules. Like we allow access to your trailer. And it's simply because we want you to learn something from this, to implement into your program. And if you have a better fan sitting in your trailer, then go get it, or whatever it may be. This is more of a learning event, see what it takes. Because if you do want to go do this and say, besides Redwood Rally, the closest one's Rocky Mountain Racing, you gotta go who wants to go 2,000 miles away just to find out when you're, 100 miles from the first track, your training cruises at 240.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
Eric, let's wrap up these classes and then we'll get into some fun talk.
Okay. Next class was the Hot Street, which is the 650 index. That was won by Jason Curtis with a 6.681. Any good stories there in the Hot Street class?
Well, we made that class. That's the class that's kind of changed each year. We started with a 650, and then we didn't get a huge participation. And then last year we changed it to an all motor class. Basically, no restrictions, all motor class. And then it got a few extra, but it wasn't anything. So we're like, you know what? Let's go back to an index one and see what we got to do here. So that's kind of been our floating class each year to change it up some, but trying to get more participants and just keep an extra class for those guys that can't compete in limited, but don't want to slow their car down to 750.
It's probably turn into like that dial your own.
Yeah.
To kind of take some from real street, but then, it needs more participation in that class.
Which is interesting to me because like 650 is, generally 10.0 index and that 10-second ET range is usually a pretty hot. That's a big class for us at the circuit. It's always a big class at 650 index. So it really surprised me. There weren't enough or weren't as many in that class.
Yeah. If you look at number 2 and 3 in our limited street class, though, they would have been real contender at 650.
Yeah.
They could have won. So, it's about choosing your battles, I guess.
Yeah. And then last class here is the tailgate class, won by Brady Davis with a 5.47 average.
That dude's a badass.
Brady definitely dominated. His truck is definitely a little bit of a step above the rest of the competition. It's not a knock at him by any means, but a lot of the, get like AC F-150s type of thing, where his is a little bit more race truck. But no, it was great. He definitely complimented the track prep, or I hate to say lack thereof, but the challenge of it too, I guess. It's fun.
He was enjoying going back and making the truck go down the track.
Yeah.
And he kept going faster and faster every pass. That's so he kept turning it up and getting it down every pass. So day one, I mean, early in the day, it was not looking real good. It wasn't looking good, but by Sunday, he had it pretty figured out.
I think he turned in a 5:36 on Sunday, so he had it.
Wow.
He probably picked it up the second and a half from
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think Brady enjoys the challenge of that. I would imagine he's very, very smart, and he runs around with Lynn Woods and all that kind of West Coast, Nate Curran, all those guys. So I'm sure he was enjoying the challenge.
Oh yeah, definitely. He seemed to.
Well, let's run through these photos real quick, and then I want to move on and talk about some fun stuff in a different segment. These are all your winners. This one, I thought, man, it's crazy that you guys ended up in the finals. That's pretty badass.
Thank you.
Someone would say script, but it was not us. If we did a random as possible, and I kind of figured we'd draw each other first round, but it worked out.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so big shout out to Ditchworks. Appreciate them and all the stuff they do for us. Performer Built Transmissions is the official transmission builder of DriveRepeat at Performer Built Transmissions. Their goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performer Built doesn't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That is why they say our transmissions are not just built, they are Performer Built. We talked about this a little bit, but what tracks did you guys visit, or what track did you visit? And then what's kind of your route?
So we started at Bremerton Raceway, which has been there like 60 years. Like I say, it's literally at the airport on an old runway. It's been our home track for our whole lives. It's we like to support it. And
my grandpa raced there in the 60s. Like it's been there.
Wow.
Yeah, and there ain't no walls next to you. There ain't no nothing. As you can see, if there's some pictures of the track, it's definitely old school, but it's treated us well our whole lives, and we love supporting it, and that's why we bring our events there, for one, to just keep, and then bring something new. All the bracket racers there, they've been doing it for 100 years there, some of these guys, but they love coming up and watching these cars go fast. And during the shootout, I was talking to one of my customers today, and he was there, and he's like, man, the finish line had 50 people down there, and the starting line had all these people up there watching these last couple of rounds of the shootout. And it was not just our drag and drive guys, but the regular bracket racers that were there for the day too.
Right, I feel like that's a group of racers that we can grab. We can get those racers. We just got to show them that drag and drive is cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, then our drive day, for the most part, we drive in a group. Some people don't, which is perfectly fine. But we also incorporate a poker run. So we have checkpoints, and then the final destination is the racetrack again. So you can get your 5 cards. We incorporate a poker run out of it, so that kind of makes it fun. Helps when you travel in a group.
And we had a friend of ours, our first stop. Those guys riding customs. Pat, he promoted it like crazy, and I think we had 25, 30 just hot rods cruising along with us on the day, just out.
Yeah. Then it starts out right after Pat's shop and those guys. We go across the world's longest floating bridge, so that's really cool. Just thousands of horsepower traveling across that. Where we drive out in, it's the Hood Canal essentially, if you were to look at a map, but we do the Hood Canal loop, and so the second you cross by the water, we cool off about 10 degrees, and just made the drive relaxing, nice. It's quiet, not a lot of traffic. It's Highway 101 once we get on the west side of our route.
But we go up and go through a couple real small towns called Port Ludlow, and we stop in Port Hadlock. There's a small burger joint, got this airplane nose hanging out the front of it. I mean, we had a line out their door for an hour and a half with everybody. We're hanging out. Joe from Forged Fuels was there, pumping guys some fuel if you needed it, and then just supporting a small business. And we gave them a heads up. They were stoked that they were new owners this year. We've stopped there each year, but they were new owners this year, and they were absolutely ecstatic that we came through there and brought all the people there with us. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Then our next stop, it's an old
military base.
Yeah, it's Fort Worden. It's a historical landmark. It was used during World War II. It was really armored up after the Pearl Harbor attacks. Basically to defend Seattle. But
it's right out on the water.
Yep. So look across the way. So we're north. When we're up there. It's really cool. It's right on the ocean. A lot of people taking pictures with their cars in front of the lighthouse, in front of the ocean. Walking out to the beach. That's a really cool checkpoint. So it's always cool everybody's super respectful in there too, which is always a little bit of a concern at the promoter standpoint, and something like that, you need, people to be respectful, and, everybody really did a great job doing it.
And then we continue down the highway, and that's where we pop out on Highway 101, which is a pretty known loop out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically go south,
basically into the Olympic National Forest.
Into the Olympic National Forest, and just beautiful drive through the trees, and then it drops you out right along the water, and you're just along the water for
long ways,
40 miles, 50 miles, going through tiny little towns and whatnot.
Yeah, Quilcene and just a bunch of these little towns that everybody says they never even heard of, never even been to, but a lot of native land out there too.
And these are all 2-lane roads too. There ain't no highway. It's a 30 to 50 mile an hour zone, and 2 lanes the whole way.
Windy, really fun little school.
Yeah, that's really cool because when you think about, we hear this all the time. Man, I've lived here for 20 years and I didn't even know these roads existed.
We hear it a lot.
This gives people a reason to drive on those roads,
Yeah, that was like one of our sponsors each year, Randy Parker. He went across that. I mean, how old's Randy? In his 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
And he's lived out here his whole life, and he's like, I've never drove across this bridge or got over here. And he goes, never got to do it in my race car.
Yeah, mind you, he is driving a 56 Chevy
700 cubic inch.
714 cubic inch. First year he did the complete route on so he's always a fan favorite. Everybody likes to come what Randy's doing. So.
Dude, that's badass.
Then we go down 101. We stopped at one of my customers. His girlfriend owns this small little deli in a beautiful little area right up from the water. So we stopped in there. They had ice cream counter set up, so everybody went in, cooled off, got a slice of pizza. They had a special for us, and pulled in the parking lot there, hung out for about an hour, and supported another small business, which I saw them Thursday, and they greatly appreciated it, loved it, was out taking pictures. Then we basically worked our way back to the track, about another 45 minutes, about an hour from there, back to the track to finish the day. It's roughly 170 miles, give or take.
Yeah, it takes 5 hours, though, just because you're not flying through it, at least 5. Usually we leave at 9, get back at
4.
Yeah, at the earliest, honestly. Some people are earlier, some people are later. But.
Yeah, that's awesome. And to cruise in a group, I think really it forces people to introduce themselves to other folks. You end up next to somebody new at the gas station each time. If you go in, if there's 120 people and they're going into a spot that typically sees 40, you're sitting at tables with people you don't know because you're just trying to sit down and eat. And that's always really cool to me too.
Absolutely. It is. Yeah, no, we have people from Arkansas, Austin McCall,
Canada,
Cassie Tippy and Ryland. They're down from BC. They also do the BC Dragon. Javier Hernandez, he came up from the Bay Area, California, which I do have to give a shout out to him. He ran out of gas a quarter mile out of the gas station. So really cool. But he also has the YouTube channel if you guys wanted to check out any more stuff from us. It's Two Gun Motorsports, as well as Patty Smiles Brad. He's putting out some videos on it.
Two Gun Motorsports, and what was the other one?
Patty Smiles.
Patty Smiles.
You can start the it'll come up.
Yeah, and it looks like you guys have been doing a great job of sharing the videos as people are loading them and things like that. So, from a promoter standpoint, that's pretty badass. We'd love to see that. Tell me more about this poker run, though. How does this work? Do they draw a card at each route stop, or do they? Is it something that they draw all at the end?
Nope. So the poker run is at the first stop. You can come over and buy your poker cards. They're $10 a card. We max them out at 4 cards. We do this, incorporate this for the co-pilots to do, for something to do. The other people that are just cruising along with everybody, but everybody gets into it. It's a lot of fun. So each stop, you'll come over. You had my friend Matt and Bobby. She was helping me. She was riding with me, and then a few other people, and they were just dealing out cards. And you walk up and you just have your cards, and you're just trying to make a random poker hand at each stop. So at each stop, you got a card. And then at the last stop was the track. You got your last card, you turn your stuff in, and then we paid the top 3 hands. We paid out $1,000 in the top, paid $1,000 back to people off of a $10 poker hand, just having fun.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Eric, let's make notes, buddy. I think poker run would be fun. We usually do a scavenger hunt from our second track to our racer party at night. So it's a condensed window of time, but I like the poker run idea too.
The poker run's fun because it's just nobody's at an advantage. You're just blind drawing, just hoping you make a good hand.
Yeah. Give your pilot something to look forward to too. Especially when we allow maximum 4 hands. So when they draw a bad card, the first one, they like buy a second one. So.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly how that's supposed to work.
Exactly. Everybody starts with 1, ends up with 4.
Yeah.
Well, how many racers did you have total at the event?
This year we had 46, which was actually our lowest car count by quite a bit. We moved the event, like we say. A lot of people said they couldn't come for, camping reasons or whatever it may be. Yeah, time of year. We also are kind of unique on our entry format. We do a deposit format. Just because we have upfront costs also to operate the event. So, but again, we try to market it to new entries. So we don't want a large entry fee to skew you. So we do a deposit format. We do a $150 deposit, and it holds your spot. At the event, your remaining $100. If you don't show up, you don't owe us anything. So that's where, a lot of people enter these week-long events that are $500 to, you name the price, and can't show up. They're out the whole $500, where we hope at a discount deposit rate, you'll take the risk and come join us. And if you're not out, astronomical money. But, it might give you that motivation to get your stuff finished and come out and drive with us.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We put it out there. Like we talked to people about, we asked, what would you like to see different? Like, how can we grow this? And everybody, 90% of the people are just like, we like the relaxed atmosphere. We like the drive day. We like being at one track. It's less expensive. They're not buying hotels. They can just stay in their trailer.
Doesn't need a week off of work.
Yeah, a week off from work, And, we've talked about trying to expand it, but this year, maybe we'll look at doing that a little bit more, just because the first 2 years we ran into rain and we didn't get to pretty much complete everything. So this year we finally got 3 days of a full event. So we have other tracks around that we could look into going to and racing at, but a lot of people really like the format. We'd love to see more people, of course, come out and come do it. But
yeah, a lot of people think the whole week-long event is very daunting, which I understand. So they like honestly, between our event and the Redwood Rally, we might have 10 people that cross over.
Yeah.
And it's not, so also to add on to that, we give away a Redwood Rally entry every year. Last year, we buy in, we sponsor them, and we get 2 entries to give away. And John Lautenschlager and Andrew Southwick with Flat Black Automotive, who's also a sponsor, they weren't in the Redwood Rally, weren't planning on going. We gave them 2 entries. They went for the first time. They were absolutely jacked about it, and they're both entered this year. So
nice.
We kind of set the trying to we don't to be the only one to reap the rewards of these, events going on, keep them growing. So we try to implement that also.
Well, it's what we talk about all the time too. Is weekend events are really a gateway drug to drag and drive, because again, a Friday afternoon like what you guys have, Saturday and Sunday, a regional person, someone that lives within 200 or 300 miles, can take Friday off and part of Monday, and they could be home and work on Monday, if they got out of there in time. So, yeah, I love the weekend stuff. I think what you're doing there, giving the week-long event away, is really the great way to get somebody to get in and do that, and then they go over and participate in Redwood Rally, and then they're hooked. They're like, where's the next one? Where can I go next? And then they take off and they end up at, Rocky Mountain Race Week in Colorado,
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Well, give us a couple fun stories from the event.
Well, this year we did something new from HCPA and Tuna Boys Racing. We did a hard luck, or I guess it was kind of
Not hard.
hard fought battle award. I
Yeah.
guess we didn't really name it, but Friday we had competitor grenade the rear end on the starting line, and he was done. Not a knock at him by any means, but I don't think he was the most mechanically inclined. So it was just maybe a little bit bigger task than he wanted to tackle in the dirt at the racetrack. I can't say I blame him. And, so a couple friends of his got together. One of them, Josh Fraley, and he drove a 47.
Like a 50 Woody that did 55 miles an hour all the way
from Kelso.
like
3.5 hours away.
I think couldn't even do 60.
Yeah, couldn't even do 60 miles an hour. And, they teamed up and they drove to Bonnie Lake, which is an hour and a half away from the racetrack.
Bought a rear end off Marketplace.
Came back, kept me up until 1 a.m. as I was sound asleep and motorhome, or trying to be sound asleep in the motorhome.
And they changed it out, and he made the drive Saturday and raced on Sunday.
With 456.
Nice.
He ended up with a spool and 456 gears, and but he got to complete the event, and so
Yeah. They were pretty jacked about it. They
so
really,
thanks to Andy and the HCPA, we gave them basically got his money back off his rear ending there, and
Yeah.
gave him an award for his whole crew for how hard they worked.
Yeah.
How cool.
I think the other one that I would say, not just because won the shootout, but everybody was buzzing about that 8-car shootout.
Yeah.
On Saturday evening, they had a blast. They were out there watching, had something to do, and we had some really good races. The first round out was we were all a little timid to go down the track because it was warm.
The tractor had broke.
The tractor had broke. Everybody's stuff's hot. We just got back from 170 miles of driving, and so we got through round 1, and then round 2, it was a 5:33 to a 5:28 and a 5:33 to a 5:26 heads up right there. So that one, everybody after that round 2 was just.
Yeah. It was me and Brant Coulter, and Jeremy and Donovan Linwood. So, 4 pretty fast cars in the semifinals, and like I said, the slowest single pass was 5:33. So,
Wow.
everybody together pretty good from round 1, and that run was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome to be that close, especially across the top 8 cars. Usually there's like 4 cars that are close, and then it's like this huge spread. But that's awesome.
Yeah, we get lucky with that. I guess we don't really have any pro mods around. Frankly, the closest one is Randy's, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete the event this year. But he drives around. It's a naturally aspirated deal, but it's 714 cubic inch. He might even be the only one on like really big tire.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
he's the only one
lot
on
of
big
big small tire cars.
That's cool, man. That's street car fun stuff. It's cars that look like regular cars and aren't insane. But 700 cubic inches, I'm in. That's
Yeah,
that dude's cool in my book.
He's the top alcohol funny car driver. So his wife Kim races top alcohol dragster. His daughter Stephanie rides with him, and they are like the biggest proponent of the event ever. They promote it a lot. They love it. They probably drive the most obnoxious and like I couldn't ride in it type of vehicle, and they just can't wait to do it again every time.
Yeah.
You know, Stephanie, Randy's daughter, you know, goes on all the time. She bought him a horn for Christmas. Like just loves it. So,
That's awesome. Wow. Well,
he's on this year.
Go ahead.
Taking the leap. So our event's kind of been able to craft him. Like I mentioned earlier, he did the whole first event on methanol, and now he's on gasoline. Does it all on C16. So it's really cheap, you know, really cheap to drive that thing. So to do the Redwood years.
Man, that's awesome. And that's the way it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? Like you guys host a great event, then they can go and do another great one. You know what I mean? That's really fun. So other than the rear end explosion and replacement, which Eric and I just lived through at Havlic's the same weekend, I had to put a rear end in my old truck because I was 600 miles from home. And so went and bought one from a junkyard, way overpaid for this ratty, rusty piece of crap, and had to weld new spring perches on it, and we went to pull off the drums and all of the brake stuff came off of it, so drove home with no rear brakes. Like it was the whole thing. But other than that one, any other big repairs, any other crazy things go on?
Not that I'm aware of anything that was like a major repair.
Yeah.
Just
That's awesome.
I went with lower belts than pairs of socks. Like I don't know, that's got to be all my thing. You know, like we don't have a super grueling, I guess, event, so there's not a whole lot of carnage ever. Seemed like there was maybe one more thing, but Mike Grady changed the transmission.
Oh yeah, Mike. He whacked the sprag on Friday.
Yeah.
Knocked second gear out of the transmission.
Then tried to drop it off the lift in Donovan's trailer.
Yeah, that was exciting.
That worked out. Yeah,
That's insane.
That was some track prep he was battling too, you know, just trying to get down it, and it would rattle the tire. And after I got 6 times of that, Tranny had enough, and he changed the tranny Friday night and did the drive and finished it up on Sunday. And Mike's also a great competitor. He's on the t-shirts. He made the fastest pass last year. We're super happy to have him. He's a big proponent of the event also. The caliber of his truck it's been in the 4s, you know, it's pretty wicked. You know, he's done Big Sky, he's done Redwood. You know, it's what he built the truck to do, and he really loves it. So we appreciate him coming for sure.
And one other thing, we did it last year. Mike got it, was the fastest pass of the weekend. So the fastest pass down the track, you know,
Minus the shootout
gets a bonus. And we got belts, like wrestling belts with the logos on it and whatnot. So Mike got it last year, and I think it was in a 512.
Yeah.
And then this year, actually, Lane was able to lay down 520 with a 0, and that took home the fastest pass of the event.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How cool. All right. Well, as we wind down here, let's wrap this up. Just want to give a shout out to Performer Built Transmissions, baddest GM transmission builders on the planet. Really focuses on like 4L stuff and is getting into 6L stuff as well as some of the 10-speed things. So, I mean, this guy put a 4L60 in the 7s and is shooting for much faster than 770s, and then has put a 4L60 behind a 5,100-pound car that goes low 10s. I mean, it's pretty badass. So hit them up for GM transmission builds, all that kind of fun stuff. Eric, I'll let you do the AFCO, and then we'll run into the last few questions here for these guys.
All righty. Racers know when you want performance that wins, you want AFCO. From shocks and suspension to cooling, brakes, and more, AFCO Racing has been helping teams go faster for over 30 years. Built by racers for racers. Check out the AFCO Advantage and follow them today on social media for the latest in performance parts. AFCO Racing, built to win. And big shout out to AFCO for giving us some shirts to work on while we were doing your old truck rear end, and helping out, getting us some tools, letting us ask them some questions, and even giving us a golf cart tour of the property.
Yeah, big shout out. They talk to us while we drank beers, while we made those beer cans into shims for the rear axle on the old truck.
Yep, for sure. All right. So as we go into the last couple questions here, what did you guys learn from this year's event? Anything in particular?
I would say the date change was good.
Yeah.
The getting into the summer months with a lot more heat, I guess, with a lot less rain. It rains here like 200 days a year, so you kind of, it's just a battle to get sun. Basically, it doesn't matter what time of year it is. July around here is just slam packed with everything, and the rest of the year is dead. So you race really hard in July, and then you kind of stop. So I would say that was really good. I do think we're ready to expand it. I think we've learned that. I wouldn't say that the event's gone stale. Being this is the first year we were actually able to complete it.
We still had a lot of new people that came
Oh,
this year,
big time.
too.
Yeah.
We just had other people that couldn't make it or whatnot.
Yeah.
But,
And this, like we say, this year, this area is so weather deprived that in the summer months, there's always car shows or other cruise. There was a cruise in Port Orchard where the track is based, or a car show.
yeah, they had
That-
600 cars down there on Sunday.
Exactly. So,
Wow.
we probably overlap on a lot more things in July, August, those type of months than we would have in May. So I'm sure that hurts our car count a little bit. But I do think we're ready for, whether it's a change in the drive day or the problem is the next closest track to us is Pacific Raceways, and it's a 45-minute drive, maybe an hour in traffic. The closest one after that's 200 miles. And I'm not saying that's impossible. For us, we do it all the time. It's really not daunting. But being that we don't really have seasoned veterans, I suppose, we worry that's going to deter a lot of people to go to Renegade Raceway, which also goes over a mountain pass, going down to Woodburn Drag Strip, which you have to go straight down I-5 to do it. The next closest one is in Canada. I'm not even going to try to do that.
No.
So, we battle a lot with that. We have another one in Forks that I've never been to.
Which is an old airfield they race on like 6 times a year.
Yeah, so we've thought about trying to incorporate them. Another one, Riverdale and Toutle, Washington.
It's an outlaw track.
That's another outlaw track right along, on par with Forks type of thing. It makes Bremerton look like,
A national event track.
literally. Yeah, literally.
No.
But Bremerton doesn't even have running water. So we definitely aren't dealing with a national event facility, but it makes it look like. It also hurts the averages, for something you're trying to advertise that, looks good or whatever. But
Definitely going to be sitting down there and trying to talk some stuff out this winter.
Well, and I think, if you look at it from the standpoint of experiential event, as opposed to, drag week, like those guys, everybody, it's the fastest. We want the fastest tracks, we want the best prep, all that kind of stuff. But if you look at it as more of like an experiential stuff, the outlaw tracks could be cool because you could do your 2 days at Bremerton and then your 45-minute track that's from you. That could be one good for a Saturday after. You could run your shootout there and 2 rounds of racing there. So, you know what I mean? Like you could definitely mix it up and think experiential for sure.
definitely.
I think 3 days of racing would definitely help.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. We like that more, but I don't know. We like both ways. I think it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to just add a second event and leave ours how it is. But we also own our own businesses, each of us, so we have to, not that this is a plan B, C, D, whatever, but it's definitely not plan A, as we all have prior obligations. But so it's kind of fit it in when we can. So.
A second event could be really cool as far as, you could do one May or, June or something like that. And you could just simply do what we do for like the short circuit is a Friday night, Saturday. And working in with a bracket race is very easy because then you just become a class of 60 cars or whatever it is. And you're making passes just like you guys did with Sunday. And 2-day stuff is really good because then you give away free entries to the big event, which is, your main event would be, of course, the Olympic Street Car Shootout and all that kind of, just, again, building that whole run. And we've had some pretty good luck with this single day stuff. We had, 17 people at our first one, 32 people at the last one, and we've got one more that is teamed up with Tulsa Raceway Park has a midnight drags, which is kind of like you might as well be racing on the streets kind of vibe. It's pretty laid back, pretty easy. And then we're doing so it starts at midnight. We'll race and then go into Sunday as an import face-off. So we'll have a bunch of cars and a car show and all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to test that for this single day event for the second one, or third one. But man, there's a lot of opportunity out there. I feel like, especially for you guys in that part of the country, because there's literally 3 events that aren't. I mean, how far is Big Sky from you? 1,000, 1,200 miles, something like that.
Yeah, 800 to 900 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not realistic for somebody wanting to get their feet wet. Somebody that wants to do something to see if their car's street worthy. That's like 10 days off of work to do that event.
Well, Big Sky's probably 800. Rocky Mountain's probably 2,000.
Yeah.
Even Redwood Rally is 500. 50. BC is probably 300, but that there's a little bit of, I would say, risk, but challenges in itself on that. Just border crossing and then coming back into the States from Canada. That's the hard one. Not going to Canada, coming back is a hard one. Yeah, I just did it 2 months ago, and it's always a pain going across. But
yeah, interesting. I'm interested to see the growth you guys see. I really feel like 3 days of racing would definitely help a bunch. Or Rocky Mountain does a setup where it's like, they have their fastest 8th and they have the next fastest 8th and they have, like the 16 and then they have a bracket race or however, I think it's something like that. But, you guys could experiment with that next year. You could look at, what's the next 8 in that, what would that range be of cars running, or do your top 8 and then a bracket, what other event runs Saturday night with you?
It's a bracket race.
It's just a regular Bremerton race. Points event.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you could do that pretty easy then for sure.
Us is, I guess, real estate around here is really expensive. So that our track rental fee is really expensive, and we don't get a huge car count to pay the rentals. So we would to have a third day of racing. Like,
we try to keep the cost more effective too.
Yeah,
it's $250 for 3 days. So you get to race a couple days, and then they're still paying, and we pay out too.
Yeah, and to add one more track, been told was $12,000 for 1 day. So
that's
a little
too
bit
much.
Yeah.
Because for folks that are watching us to understand, like as a racer, is it worth another $200? At the car counts you guys are getting. I mean, it needs to be $450 for people to do it, and you do 3 days of racing, and then everybody's like, whoa, hang on, that's too much. So I think you're right. That's pretty cool.
Versus like what we can deliver as a product. So that's definitely our battle. Even like say, not to knock at Bremerton by any means, but we still pay a fine entry fee.
Yeah.
Bremerton. And to go any bigger, we either need 250 cars, which we don't necessarily want either, or a lot more entry fee. Yeah,
that's interesting. I'd love to talk more about that and see, because sponsorships help with that. Obviously, you guys can do more with more sponsors, and the bigger event makes that easier and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to help in any way we can. I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. This is fun, man. We don't really. We're kind of at a point now where we've talked to a lot of the promoters for other events and stuff like that, but you guys look like you had a really good time and a really good event. And man, to go 3 years, this is like a turning point. I'm telling you, 3 years is always the turning point for an event. So one last question. Have you guys hosted events before? Like regular drag races or car shows or anything?
My family, we put on a independent shootout race for about 14 years at Everton, and bracket race. And it was one day foot brake event all the way to a 3-day $10,000 to win Saturday type thing. So we know what we're doing on hosting it and payouts and structures and this and that. It's just like I say,
time is a big thing.
The time is a big thing. Like I say, him on his business, I got a tool truck, so it's kind of our spare time. And it's like as it gets closer, you're like, well, we got everything up. Now it's like, oh, we got more to do.
Yeah,
but
100%. Eric and I live that life too. We get it.
If you don't mind, we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors too.
Yeah.
Jay, these are all class sponsors. I will give a specialty shout out to Benchmark Automotive. They were the sponsor to the Quick 8 Shootout Saturday night. They were there on property, watched the event. It was super cool to have them. Flat Block Automotive, he's the tailgate sponsor. He also presented a 5-gallon Tough Jug to each of the class winners. So, in some of the pictures that you guys may have, all the class winners are standing there with their big checks and their Tough Jug. So thanks to him. Parker Race Shop, he's our 3-pedal class sponsor. Big proponent of the event also.
We got Tucker's Towing, Corey Tucker, a small towing company out here in Bremerton, and just a friend of ours that wants to support it and that has since day one. And then another guy, Caswell, owns Paint Factory. He's sponsored it every year. The new one this year was Rich Elmore from Pipeworks Mechanical, who's a good friend, and just a lot of people we know that support the event, that just want to see it go, and they come and hang out on the weekend.
And oftentimes we're supporting their business also, like RM Collision, our class sponsor. He painted my car, so we try to I guess keep it in house. We have a really niche family out at Bremerton. And a lot of these guys, J.A. Morris was also our Extreme Street class sponsor. Just people we race with basically weekly. I raced HCPA. Yeah. I raced him on Saturday or Sunday. So it's just people we hang out with all the time. So
we're hoping now that we're growing this that maybe we can start looking into getting in with some title sponsors of some sort. That way we can expand and get to another track and whatnot.
Yeah.
So.
Our awards also, my mom said they were stupid, but there is a reason behind them. We gave away medals, gold, silver, and bronze this year. Our name is the Olympic Dragon Drive, so it felt really fitting to have Olympic medals.
I dig that, dude. I think that makes a ton of sense. So sorry, your mom was wrong this time. She's always right everywhere else in her life, but she's wrong on that one. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, guys, listen, thank you so much for staying, for giving us an hour of your time. I know you guys are busy, and we wish you the best of luck. If you'll stay behind with us, I'd love to talk to you after the show ends. We got just another few things to talk about, but you guys are awesome. Olympic Street Car Shootout, for anybody that's looking for stuff. You guys do a great job on Facebook of promotion and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Awesome. We'll see you guys just a minute. Dude, how cool, man. It's always interesting to meet new promoters and new teams and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always excited to have them on and learn, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we're all going to get better, is just to learn. So 100%. Big shout out to AFCO for all the stuff they do for us. We appreciate them. And again, thanks for a lot of good advice, a lot of tools. We use a lot of their stuff at Havlicks, and appreciate them doing all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
All right, sir. Send us out.
All right. Once again, appreciate all of our race car friends for tuning in tonight, all of the comments. Just again, appreciate each and every one of you. And again, can't do this without our sponsors. Again, we've got discount codes. We've got affiliate links. If you need to get in contact with anybody at one of these companies, we can do that. So thank you to Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solution, FCO Racing Products, Performa-Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, Low Dollar Motorsports, PowerTube TV, and Racing Junk. And I will not see you guys on Saturday, but there still will be a show, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we're looking for a guest co-host for Saturday morning. So if you are looking to be guest co-host, and you can give an hour and a half of your time from 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, hit me up. Let us know.
All right. See
Later.
you guys.